They had no warning, no evacuation, no chance. And yet, everything they touched that morning still exists. Most people see Pompeii as a city of stone and ash. But I see the color of the walls, the smell of fresh bread, and the fear in their eyes. Today, we aren't just visiting. We are going back to August 24th, 79 AD. This wall was painted the week before, the red still wet when the ash came. They built for eternity, and eternity kept its promise, just not in the way they imagined. 11,000 people. This morning, every single one of them believed they had tomorrow. The mills started before sunrise, before the city had opened its eyes. Someone was already feeding it. Hot food, painted walls, a seat at the counter. 2,000 years before the concept of a restaurant existed, Pompeii had already invented it. Honey on an olive, the simplest thing in the world. And yet, nobody in this city had any idea it would be the last time they tasted it. Those grooves in the stone, each one 1,000 journeys, 1,000 ordinary days that nobody thought to remember, until the mountain remembered for them. Modestus stamped his name on every loaf he ever made. He wanted credit. He wanted to be known. 2,000 years later, he is. History has a strange sense of justice. They argued about politicians on these walls. They fell in love on these walls. They insulted their neighbors on these walls. The ash preserved it all equally, without judgment. Cave canem. The dog is long gone. But whoever painted this warning, they are still here, still speaking, still trying to protect something they loved. We don't know their names, but we know their faces. And somehow, that feels like enough. An hour on her face, the right earrings, the perfect line of kohl beneath her eye. She was going somewhere today. She had plans. She had no idea that this small, careful, ordinary act of vanity would be the most human thing she ever did. The ground beneath Pompeii had been shifting for days. The wells tasted different. The springs ran strange colors. The earth was sending every signal it knew how to send. But 11,000 people had rent to pay, bread to sell, children to feed. So they looked at the mountain and went back to work. Animals don't reason. They don't doubt. They don't tell themselves everything is probably fine. They just leave, and we call them primitive. Rectina put down her stylus and looked at what she had written. Then she rolled the papyrus, sealed it, and handed it to a messenger. She had no way of knowing she was writing the last letter of her life. The mountain had already begun to take the city apart, quietly, from below, while everyone slept. The wells were the first to know. Pliny the Elder was the smartest man in the Roman world. He had written 37 volumes on the nature of everything, and standing on that terrace, looking at what was rising above Vesuvius, he understood that he had never written about anything like this. There is no word in Latin for what happened next, no word in any language spoken that day. 1:17 in the afternoon, and the sky simply stopped. Not darkness, something worse than darkness, a color no one had a name for. People ran. But where do you run when the sky itself is falling? Some grabbed their children and never looked back. Some stood in their doorways, hand on the frame, unable to leave the walls that had held their entire lives. The pumice came first, small, almost curious. Like the mountain was testing them. Then it stopped being a test, torches at midday, strangers holding strangers in the dark, a city of 11,000 people, reduced in 1 hour to one single, shared, terrifying question. Is this the end of the world? For Pompeii, the answer was yes. They did everything right. They found the strongest walls. They covered their heads. They stayed together. It wasn't enough. 6 waves came down that mountain. Not fire, something worse. Superheated gas moving faster than sound. At 700 degrees, the human body doesn't burn. It simply stops, instantly, completely, mid-breath. The last thing most of them felt was each other. August 25th. The mountain had nothing left to say. 6 meters of silence where a city used to be. No sound, no movement, not even wind. Vesuvius looked almost peaceful, as if it had simply forgotten. 1748, a crack in the earth, a farmer's shovel hitting something that wasn't rock. Color, impossible, unreasonable, defiant color. Pompeian red, still burning through 17 centuries of darkness. The city hadn't been waiting to be discovered. It had been waiting to be heard. Modestus never came back for his bread, but it waited for him anyway, carbonized, perfect, patient, still wearing his name. Some loyalties survive everything, even this. He was a doctor. He stayed when others ran. His instruments are still scattered where he fell, each one designed to save a life. And somewhere nearby, a shelf, 3 clay animals. A child arranged them carefully before leaving the house that morning. The ash never moved them. They are still in the same order, still waiting for small hands that never came back. Walk these streets today and listen, not for ghosts, for something quieter than that. The worn edge of a stepping stone, the groove of a wheel that passed 10,000 times, a threshold smooth from 1,000,000 footsteps. This city was not destroyed. It was interrupted, mid-sentence, mid-laugh, mid-life, and it never stopped waiting to finish. 2/3 of Pompeii has been excavated, 1/3 still sleeps, still holding whatever it was given to keep. We are not done listening yet. He was 17 years old. He sat across the bay with a pen and refused to look away. Every historian since has built on what that boy refused to forget. Pliny the Younger. We owe him more than we can say. Pompeii doesn't ask for your sympathy. It asks for your attention. Every stone, every name, every small, careful thing preserved by accident and ash, reaching forward across 2,000 years, not saying, remember us, saying something smaller, something more honest. We were here, we were real, we were exactly like you.